What's up everybody, it's Megito, and welcome to my first challenge run that is not just a series of videos and a playlist. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while with my Nocturne starting Magatama only run, but unfortunately I didn't plan on doing it like this, and I've forgotten so much from it, and relearning everything I did in that run isn't just worth my time. However, this run is one where I did plan on doing it in this kind of format. So today I'm here to answer the question, can you beat Shin Megami Tensei 4 without Demon Whisper and with only the default armor? Unlike Nocturne in Digital Devil Saga, SMT 4 has a system where you can customize your armor. Not only does this increase your natural defense, but it also changes your resistances and your weaknesses. So for the entire game, I'm going to be weak to fire, resistant to ice, and immune to light attacks. Also, unlike Nocturne and Digital Devil Saga, instead of learning skills from mantras or Magatama, Flynn learns skills from his demons after they have obtained every skill they can learn naturally. Without Demon Whisper, I'm going to have to rely on magic attack items as well as magic mirrors and attack mirrors. Because magic items are limited, I'm going to have to be dumping most of my stats into physical until I get the gun attack, and in which I will start dumping my stats into dexterity. So, the rules for this challenge are fairly simple. I cannot switch out my armor, nor can I have any demons whisper to me at any time. Accessories are allowed to be equipped as they do not change your outward appearance. Guns, bullets, and swords can obviously be swapped out as they are not changing your defense. The last and final rule is that you must get the neutral ending. You cannot choose the white ending, and if you end up on the law or chaos endings at the alignment lock, well, hopefully you had an extra save, otherwise you are shit out of luck, my friend. Anyway, with all the rules in place, let's get started. We boot up the game on Citra and see that beautiful HD texture mod, link in the description by the way. We see the iconic cutscene of Flynn flying to the sky. Actually, that's a filthy lie because my recording f***ed up, so the first hour of the game is audio only. So here's a wall of text of everything I did within the first hour. Well, anyway, after everything that you saw on that wall of text, I recruit a griffin and fuse an angel, and then we head back into Naraku to look for Navarre. We come across a hooded man who seems he wants to kill us and proceed to engage in demon fisticuffs. The fight isn't so bad, we just have to fry a Wendigo using Agi and then proceed to fry an entire flock of them with some help from our fellow samurai. Up ahead, we are warned of a strange wall that's been spotted and give next to no fucks, and proceed to enter the wall anyway, which turns out to be a demon's domain. There's a flash of a little girl, and then we see a man that is bound in a wheelchair. His name is Steven. Don't worry, he'll be relevant later. We get to the end of the domain and find Navarre tied up like Jesus on the cross, and then proceed to fight Alrane, who wants to eat us in a seductive manner.
Blood from humans like these is so scrumptious. It has this thick texture that lingers on the tongue.
Thankfully, we get Walter as our partner, which is awesome because Alrane is weak to fire. Other than that, the fight isn't so hard, but she does have poison breath, which my griffin is weak to, but the poison isn't that big of a deal, so I don't bother removing it, and just like Wendigo, just use Agi until she's fried to a crisp. After the fight, we rescue Navarre, who begins to, I guess have a mental breakdown?
In a carefree life.
Navarre?
Ah, yes, those were the days. I was father and mother's delight.
Navarre, what's the matter? Get a hold of yourself.
Well, anyway, we go to bed and then go to breakfast with Walter and Jonathan in the morning to eat at Lake Mikado. After messing around with them for a bit, we go back to bed once again and are awoken by them to go spy on Isabeau on the roof.
There. It's Isabeau. Let's sneak closer and surprise her. I don't think she'll be very pleased if you try that. That's the idea. I want to see that prim iron mask of hers slip. To see those cold cheeks flush pink.
And whose iron mask are we speaking of?
Ah!
Can't you be voyeurs in silence?
After we have a conversation about what manga is, we see a fire in the distance and learn to find out that it's coming from Flynn's hometown, Kichigeorgi, and proceed to depart. We arrive in Kichigeorgi and then come to find out that Kichigeorgi Forest is up next, and we are tasked with rescuing survivors from the forest. The bosses aren't that big of an issue, and we stomp them like every other encounter we've had thus far. We continue going into the depths of the forest, only to come across our old friend, Isakar. He begins ranting about the luxuries and how he will remain a casualty, and then casually turns his eyes red, and now it's time to fight. The first attempt doesn't go well at all. He one-shots Flynn with a bouncing claw, smirks, and then just wipes out the rest of my party. Yeah, be prepared to see that game over screen a lot in this playthrough. The second attempt goes way smoother, and by that I mean I just get lucky.
Stat, do you remember? We vowed on the shores of bliss and change.
We go into the end of the forest and come across someone called the Black Samurai, whom is distributing books that is corrupting the people of Mikado. She escapes, and now we have to break the samurai code and go deep into Naruku, deeper than a samurai is supposed to. We get to the bottom and have to fight our first real boss, Minotaur. And let me tell you something, Minotaur is a bastard. Allow me to tell you why. He has Onikagura, which is low accuracy, but is a guaranteed critical hit if it lands. And then there is his exclusive skill, Labyrinth Strike, which is a mega physical attack that can hit 2 to 3 times if he is lucky. That is just to give you perspective about what we're dealing with here. The first attempt goes okay for the most part, but there are 2 problems with it. One, I get Walter as my partner, which is bad news already because he has Augie, which Minotaur full-on blocks and most likely will make him smirk. 2, Flynn can only use Bufu items, which at this point in the game are severely limited, and I only have 1 Bufula stone. I managed to stay alive for a good few turns, but I didn't deal enough damage in order to get to the dialogue option to decrease his defense, and he manages to kill us with an Onikagura that obviously crits, causing him to smirk, and then he uses Labyrinth Strike to kill my Naga. The second attempt goes about the same, except I do manage to get to the dialogue option. However, he lands a critical hit with Labyrinth Strike, smirks, kills Fomorian with a normal attack, uses Labyrinth Strike again, and then just proceeds to kill Flynn and Naga. It was clear to me at this point that I would not be able to kill him with my current setup, so I grind to level 12 and fuse Pelé, Apsaris, and Jack the Ripper, and then attempt to fight again. I get Walter as my partner, which made me shit a little, but thankfully he doesn't use Augie at any point in the fight. In fact, it was probably for the best that Minotaur did kill him towards the end. Well, anyway, with me actually being suited for this fight, I take down Minotaur like he was nothing.
No, forgive me, Aquila, but perhaps we can.
After finally beating Minotaur's ass, we descend further down into Naruku, and we go into a room and find a gun. And now at this point in the game, I am now going to be dumping my stats after each level up into Dexterity. We move forward and find a room with a strange looking door. We go inside and it turns out to be a terminal room. Apparently this same terminal has also been in Mikado, and we have the honor of naming the terminal. I decide to just name it Mikado for convenience sake. After descending further down into Sky Tower, we come across an underground city, which, unsurprisingly I'm sure, this is the Unclean One's country. We take an elevator down to the observation platform, where we are then greeted by our second major boss, Medusa. And just like Minotaur, Medusa is a bitch. Allow me to tell you why. Just like Minotaur, Medusa has 2 skills that can make and break the fight: Taltham Shot and Snake's Fangs. Both of these skills are medium gun-based damage. But Snake's Fangs is the one you should worry about the most, because it also has a 50% bind chance, which this early on in the game is a big kick in the Mara. And it also doesn't help that Snake's Fangs also targets multiple foes, and Taltham Shot only targets 1. The first attempt actually goes pretty smoothly for the most part. I get Jonathan as my partner, which is a good thing because Medusa is weak to wind. However, there is still the problem of Flynn's magic usage being severely limited to items, which we don't have very much of, but we at least have more Zandstones than we did Bufu Stones at the Minotaur fight. And it also doesn't really help the fact that Medusa also resists guns. And unfortunately, this attempt does end with Medusa casting Taltham Shot, killing Palais, then casting Snake's Fangs, binding everybody, and then killing us with Rapid Needle. A move that the wiki does not list.